Who are your inspirations?
Zidane and Neymar. I'm honestly just so serious about that. Yeah.
What music are you listening to?
Lucy Farrell, My Bloody Valentine, I listen to a lot. But right now, honestly, I'm listening to Lucy Pearl a lot. It's like a R&B super group that had Raphael Sadiq, Dawn from En Vogue, Ali Shaheed from Tribe Called Quest, and also D'Angelo, I think, was in it for a little bit. But one really good album. Really good album. Yeah. My Bloody Valentine has a couple of really good albums. Growing up, I was like into punk rock and hardcore, and like once you turn like 18, that music is like unlistenable kind of, so you like kind of shift into other stuff. And I guess I was always attracted to like those types of bands, like, Slow Dive and My Bloody Valentine and Ride and all that stuff. So naturally, as I started DJing, I used to be really into like underground rap, really like kind of like nerdy stuff. And then you go to parties and you realize like, oh, like people don't dance to that stuff, and you kind of just get into more stuff. And I got into R&B, but I would say R&B is probably the genre that I listen to the most,
What is energy?
I still don't have an answer for that. I guess maybe my daughter that was just born gives me a lot of energy. But yeah, weird. Sorry. I don't know how to answer that.
The future is?
Oh, I remember that I wanted to say my daughter, Apollonia. It's crazy. First 2 weeks, you really want to kill yourself. And then it just gets like better. Yeah. It's just like nonstop. I'm a pretty mellow person, and just babies crying and shitting on you. It's just like insane to deal with as a person who like was never really responsible for another human. All of a sudden you're responsible for it. And then you see your wife and she's going through it and the baby's going through it, and you're like, whoa. But progressively it just gets a little more simple, I guess. Routine. It becomes more of a routine, I think, which is something everybody can deal with.
What is time?
Oh, I have a vintage watch company called Very Special, so time is very special. Yeah. We were originally I was just collecting watches, sort of like as I started making money DJing. And then a bunch of my friends and I, we were kind of like getting into watches, but we were getting iced out by like a lot of like, it's just like when you go to these like vintage watch spaces, a lot of like old heads who don't really want to talk to you if you look or dress a certain way. And me and one of my partners, Sage Alcessor, we started this together because we were just like super into it, but we were having a hard time like connecting with some of the dealers out there. And a lot of our friends that were also getting into it, they were having a hard time. So we were just like, fuck it, let's just do it ourselves. Let's buy our own watches. And my partner Juan, he's been a watch dealer for 20 plus years. So yeah, a lot of the great pieces are amongst a very small circle of dealers, and to get into that group of dealers is a little complicated. Our partner Juan, he's been in that group of dealers for a long time, but it's just an older world, an older train of thought. Like you would go to shops in Milan or in Paris or even in Tokyo, which is some people think is like the friendliest place on earth. Like if you didn't fit the mold of the type of buyer, they wouldn't show you certain watches, certain pieces. So it wasn't until we kind of got in the world that people would start showing us the pieces we wanted to buy, the pieces we wanted to see, the pieces we wanted to sell. It's a very like stuffy world because it's just a lot of old heads, The younger generation of vintage specific dealers, there's a lot of watch dealers that are just like freaks, but the ones who are a little more like tasteful or curated, they are cooler. They're nicer people, generally. Easier to get along with,
What's the first thing you do when you wake up?
I kiss my dog. Yeah. Honestly, that is what I do every day. He actually doesn't even like affection, which is really funny. I know, crazy. I wanted a dog because I really wanted like a companion. I feel like I have like a brother that doesn't really like me all that much. He's great. He has mad character, but I go and I kiss my dog every day. Yeah.
Who are the artists who inspire you?
I love Prince. I love Michael Mann. I love Ousmane Dembele. I really love Raphael Sadiq. It's one of my favorite artists. I honestly, I've been watching so many Michael Mann movies like the last 10. I just like rewatch Manhunter or like anything. So I think Michael Mann is the man. He's the guy. When they think of like intellectual type movies or whatever, I think he is like the most perfect movie of all time because you just can't not be captivated by it, you know? And I don't know. I love Heat. My two favorite movies are probably like La Haine and Heat. But I think Heat is like cinema, you know, like you go to a movie, that's what you want to see. I don't want to see like a really boring A24, like emotional ass movie. I want to see Heat, you know? No diss, but like I'm sick of it, you know? Like I feel like, I was just talking about this the other day because I was watching this like kind of terrible but great Cameron Diaz like rom-com on TV, and they just like don't make those anymore because everything is so serious now, you know? It's so like, it needs to have so much like depth, emotional depth, social depth and stuff. I'm like, just give me the dumb shit, you know? It's the Criterion Collection is right there. You could just watch it and that's it, you know? I love The Player by Robert Altman. So Robert Altman, that's a good one. But Tim Robbins is the lead. It's like there's like this opening scene where it's just like one shot of him walking into a Hollywood studio. It's great. Yeah.
What do you think of AI?
I've never used it. Yeah. I've never used ChatGPT, or I don't even know how it works. I'm sure I've unknowingly used AI, but I don't know, like, can you just Google something? I guess that's AI. I don't know. Yeah.